Hello and welcome to another Nicomedia tutorial. We continue after a longer break. And today we will start with a liquid tutorial, with the new liquids we will play. And my plan was first to start with the new series about automation and AI and something else. But then I got the question if I can show how to fill an object with liquids, which is with the new liquids very easy. The liquids are not woo-ha, but they are for small things. They are usable, but they are not X particles or something else. But it's okay. And they are very easy to handle. So that's nice. And yeah, this is a small hint. We will make something like this here, or we will do exactly this here. And this is the logo from N8N. This is the next program in the next tutorial with for the on the automation and something else. Okay, we will make this animation. I will show you how we can model this container and everything. And let's simply start. Okay, we are here. Hello, and I go in the top view. This is the first thing I do. And here I want as background, I want my logo picture. It should be still, if you have a picture, you can simply drag it on your viewport and it will be inside here as a background picture. And you will find it then with Shift V on the back here in the viewport settings. You see, I have my logo in here. And when I make it visible, this is here. And here you can make it transparent and everything. And I want to make it a little transparent so I can see it better what I do. Good. I made this tutorial. I made already this tutorial 1 hour or so ago. And then I have seen that I only recorded the MP3. I recorded only the audio without the video. And this was a little frustrating. So let's start again with this. Good. So there are two ways, or there are more ways, but there are two ways I would model this, or I will model this. This is one is with the polygon pen, and one is with the spline pen. And I will show you both ways, and you can decide what's better for you. In this case, we will fill this with liquid, so we don't have to make this really precise. But I will show you how you can really make it so that you can make exactly this the every logo or graphic you want. So something like this, of course. Okay, let's start with the version with what needs a little more time, but yeah, I prefer this method, but yeah, it depends on what you want to model here. Good. This is this. Start with the spline, with the polygon pen. So, but first of all, I make a circle, a disc, not a circle. NB to see the lines here, and I drag this over here. So I make my circle in an X-ray, so I can see what I do here. If I move and I move it over to here, and make it smaller. And drag it. So this is okay. As I said, we don't have to be 100% precise here. This is more than enough. Now I want to um, bring these edges here, these two edges, to this line here. So for this, I go to my disk object and I go up with the rotation segments here. You see, okay, that looks okay. That looks nice, but be careful. You see, we have 25 segments here now. Here it looks fine, but on the other side, it's not symmetrical here, you see. So we need an even number here. So let's go to 26. And now we have a straight line through, and this is exactly what we want. Okay, now we need an inner circle here, so an inner radius. Go out. Whoop. We have an inner circle. Fine. And now we simply drag this over to here. So we copy it, hold the control key and drag it over. Then control key again and drag it over here. So somewhere like here. Should be fine. Then another control key. No, not another, the same control key, but another time. Control. And yes, so okay. That's the first thing. And I want to combine all of them. So connect object and delete. Whoops. Nice. Now we have one object here. We go in the polygon mode. And with ME, this is the polygon pen, or we'll find it as well in the mesh polygon pen, ME. We can now work. You see, when I go over a polygon, it selects the polygon. When I go over an edge, it selects the edge, and the same is with the points here. And now I want to drag this edge here to this side, so I bridge it more or less. But if I do it so, you see this is not possible. You have to hold the control key, and now we can drag this over, and you will feel the snapping here. Okay, same I do here. Okay, and it wouldn't be necessary at the moment because we at the end we will put everything in a remesher, so the mesh does not matter. But we can here, if you don't want to use a remesher, we can click here on an edge that makes a point, and we go to the other side. Check, and we have here. Is you should have some subdivisions because we use this container later as a collider, and the collider, it's good when the collider has some subdivisions, so it works better, at least in my opinion at least. So now we need this path here and this path here. So let's go and hold the control key and go over the edge, control key, drag this out here. So go to the point and so go to here, go to the point, go to here. You see that works quite well here. We don't have to be very precise, as I said, because we fill this with a fluid, and then we will not see the edges here. So, but of course you can be precise, isn't it? Okay. Of course you can fast forward if it's too boring for you, and I guess it will be boring, but it has to be done. Okay, but you see it goes quite fast, so this is, we don't have so and the first one is done. Let's make this one here. You will feel when you come over a point or an edge, you see the snapping here. You feel it, and then you know it's connected. It's important. So another one. Now I go down here. I really like this way to work. This polygon pen is a great thing. It makes it so easy to make almost every shape. And if you have a little practice with it, you're very fast with it. So nice. Now let's make here one. Here's And what you can do, and you see we need here a point, simply click on the edge and you get a point. Then you drag the point where you need it, and then you will have this knife here. This is a knife tool. You can drag it over to here, so, and to the point and make it a little nicer. When you model something like this, you should always see that you get quads here, so triangles or n-gons or something else. But in this case, it wouldn't be, doesn't matter because, as I said, we will put this in a remesher and everything will get a wonderful mesh then. But just for practice maybe, so you see. Then the same here. Whoops. Make a point here. And now, whoop. I forgot to release the key, the alt key, the control keys. Much better. See how quick this works. This is really no problem to do. Okay, and here you see this is a quad. We'll simply go to this side and we have all quads here ready. Very, very nice. So let's hide the background here. With Shift V, we go there and hide the background. You see, we have a wonderful mesh. But we need a little more subdivisions. I want here a subdivision in between, at least one, and so on. But we have a wonderful mesh here, no question about it. But when I put this now in a, okay, let's go in the object mode. When I put this now in a remesher, here we have the remesher somewhere. Yeah, here. It's normally it's inside here, I think, but I have it outside here. Alt on the keyboard, select this one, and Alt on the keyboard, click remesh. And you see, we have a wonderful mesh. But maybe I want a little denser, so I go with density to 200%. And that looks nice now. This looks exactly how I want it. And next step is, if this should be more than enough for our liquid simulation. But if you think you want this really smooth, and you put it in the subdivision surface, you can do so. So let's make this editable, this remesher. Select it and hit C on the keyboard. Whoops, so. And we put this in the subdivision surface. You see now it destroys more or less our logo. The logo should have hard edges here, really sharp edges, and not so smooth edges. But if you want everything smooth but not this here, show you how you can do this. You simply go again, object, the polygon mode, ME for the polygon pen, and here we try to make very hard edge. So I make here polygons. So I click here to get a point, then drag over like with a knife tool. So again, then I click again on the point here and again on this point. Now I have a very hard edge here, but you see we have triangles and we want always quads. So I click in the middle of this edge here, drag it a little out just so that it looks a little better, and go to the other side. Now I have here a quad, here a quad, and here a quad. Here a quad. The same I do here. Normally it would be enough when I go make a click here and go to the side here. This would be a quad as well. This would be a quad as well. It looks like, but it is a quad here. There's 4K. But I'd like to make it a little nicer, so it looks a little nicer. And here I do the same. Drag it down. Go up to here. And now, when I bring this in a subdivision, let's NA, so bring this in a subdivision, we have a much harder, you see, we have a much harder edge. let's do it here as well, so that we see this edge here and this edge. Then we have a good opposite here. So let's go in the thing. Here we do the same. But point, 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 point here. Drag it down a little bit. And everything with the same tool, with the polygon pen. So done. Okay. And now we should see a nice... You see here we have the hard edge and here we have the soft edge. And so you can work all around the object if you want it really smooth. It is like it here is here. But as I said, we don't need this. So and we so this is the first method how we can do this. I will make this so visible, and I show you now the second method with the spline pen. With the spline pen, we simply need splines. First, we start with a circle spline. Let's go to here. Object mode, okay. So then an E. Bring it over to here somewhere. Okay. Start with the inner circle here. Doesn't matter with the inner or outer, but so nice. And now I make a ring out of the circle. Go to the circle, and here we have ring. You see it? Now we have a ring here. Okay, nice. Then hold the control key and drag this circle over to this guy here. Hold the control key and drag this over to this here. And again, control key and this over to this here. Nice. So now we have to connect everything here. I want to make one circle out of everything, one spline. So I go to here, connect objects and delete. So I have one spline. And now I want to make this with the spline pen. But it's important that you deselect this spline. If we work now with the spline pen, with this spline selected, it will be just one spline. And this is not what we need, because we want later to combine this with the spline mask. So deselect the spline. Now we go to the spline mask, to the spline pen here. And we make a point here, point here, point here, point here, and close this spline. So this is the first connection. And now we need this path here. And this is quite easy to do. So it needs a little practice, of course, but it is not hard. So I start here inside. Then I go to the first curve here. Then I go to this one and I hold now. I press the mouse button, the left mouse button, and hold it. So I press and hold, and now I drag it so that it goes along this. Same I do here, you see. We can try to go all the way up here. You see, that looks quite nice. As I said, we don't have to be precise here. We can change this later on. And then we go to here, here, go back to here, here, spline, and I go to here. Here I make only one point. So you see, when I make a point and I don't stay on my mouse button, it will release it. So then I go to here, something like that, and this is not entirely what I want, but it's okay for the tutorial. We can change this later when we have polygons. We can uh, drag the points wherever we want. So for now, this is totally okay. So I click here. Let's try this. That's the with the shift key. When you hold the shift key, and then you can drag this tangent, and you will see you go this direction where the tangent is. Okay, that looks nice. And close it. That's it. And now we have these two splines. Let's go here in the object mode. And we need a spline mask. So I select the first spline, hold the Alt key and click on the spline mask. Then I drag this spline inside. You see that is not what we want. That looks ugly. Because we are here in the Z axis. But we look from above on this thing, so we need the Y axis. You can try with the viewport render axis. This would work as well, I think. Let's see. Yeah, that works as well. You see, we have one object now. But you see, not the C, the Y axis, it would be the same. You see? Okay, union is okay here. When we go to end, we get something like this. Just the overlaps. Or is not what we want. Intersection is not what we want. So we have A subtract B is not what we want. B subtract A is still not what we want. So union is exactly what we want. And you see we are here, we don't have nice things here. But that doesn't really matter. So we can change this later on. Let's say I am happy with this. Go to select my spline mask and see on the keyboard I have my spline here. And to make a spline, a polygon out of this spline, simply we go to the spline mask here and put it in a loft NURB. The spline is selected. I hold the Alt key and go to the loft, and I have my polygon. The next thing what I want is the same like before. I put this in a in a remesher. First, I go to the loft and make it editable. C on the keyboard. Don't need the whole thing here. Then we go to the remesher, select it, Alt key, remesh. We have exactly what you see. We have here triangles. But here is a triangle, but this doesn't matter because I want 200 here. And we have still a triangle here. We try to dissolve this. Maybe let's try it with adaptiveness. No, that doesn't help here. No. Adaptive count doesn't help, but let's go up here a little bit. Okay, now we have it. Now we have everywhere quads. 200, 250 enough? No, 250 not enough. 270 is enough. Okay. And now when we go closer and we don't like how this looks, we make the mesh editable, see on the keyboard, go in point mode and simply drag, oops, this is the wrong thing. With ME, this is the polygon pen, we drag this simply to the point we want. So this looks a little nicer here. So let's see here, this is, there is the red. And here we could drag this to, but it doesn't really matter here in this case. Here we can alter this a little, so. And that is the reason I said this is not so precise, everything. We can change this later on. Okay. Here that looks not nice. Okay. Drag it to here. Okay. And I don't need the subdivision surface for this, and so it doesn't matter if I have a long edges here. And if I would need one, I make the trick with the cuts here. Here we have a little bit. That's enough. Okay. Let's don't let waste time here. So I save this, and I should already have this file because, as I said, I recorded it already, but without a video. So now we can disable with Shift V, we can disable the background. Okay. The next step is we have to make a container out of this so that the liquid stays inside here. And nothing easier than that. We go to our remesher, go in the edge mode. With UL, we make a loop selection around the whole thing here, you see? Bong bong. And on the inside, don't forget the inside. So we need the inside as well here. You have the shift key to add the selection in the inside. The next step is simply an E for the move tool, you see? And now we hold the control key and we drag the edges up here. Quite high so that the fluid does not have any chance to go out. This looks quite nice. Let's make here a round number, 130. Okay, that's it. And I want to make some subdivisions here on the height as well. So I want to select all these edges with UB. This is a ring selection. Okay, whoops. And we can select this, 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 and this. It can go faster when you go to the side view here and make a rectangle selections and say visible only disabled. Then you have the inside and the outside, but so I don't have to change every time the viewport. Good, I have this, and now with MM, so hit twice the M key, then we get a cut. We cut the edges. So MM, another one, MM, one more. Now we have nice things going on here. And we should have the normal should be okay as well. Polygon mode, select all. You see the inside is blue like a swimming pool, and the outside is orange. So everything is correct. This is important for the collider later on. But if you use the collider in the mode both inside and outside, it shouldn't make any difference. But it's better you have the normals correct. So let's go in object mode, save. And now we can start to make an emitter. So I go, let's go to here, make a simple emitter, simulate emitters, basic emitter. Here we have the basic emitter. And I wanted the emitter emits upwards. It emits along the blue arrow, R, and 90 degrees. So, and a little up because now we are on the same level like the floor from our pool. So go a little up and bring it inside here. So something like here, maybe here. Okay, make it smaller. Of course, we have to be inside our pool. Okay, this is perfect. And if we now hit enter, let's give us some more frames. 300, not 3000, is a little much. My animation was 300, so let's make 300 and hit play. It needs a little bit to fill the graphics cards. We have our thing. Okay, but this is not what we want. Now we need the new simulate modifier liquefy. Just it has to be just in the scene, nothing more. And for this now, when we let's hide our container here and play. You see it goes down now like a liquid. But it goes through our object and this is not okay. So let's go to our mesher and give it a collider tag. I have my tags here, but you will find it if you right click, simulation collider. And here, what I said, you have front, back, and both. If you use both, it works in most of the cases. And if you hit play, we get something like this. That looks quite nice. It goes not through, at least at the moment, but it looks not really nice. So we have to go to the emitter and emit more particles. Thousands. And again, whoop. That looks better. You see, some particles go through our container. This is not what we want. So how can we avoid this? With a simple trick, of course. Let's bring this back and we simply put this container in a thicken generator. So I go to the remesh. Let's name this container. Container, okay. And select it, go to the thicken, hold my Alt key and click on the thicken. You see? And here I want it only on the outside. You see, we can put this in the inside, middle, outside. And it doesn't matter how it looks, so that so you see here a phone problem, and this doesn't matter because we don't see it. Important is now you have to put the collider tag on the thicken, of course. So now hide the thick, and let's see if it works now. And nothing escapes our container. That looks nice, but see with 300 frames it is too slow. Let's see how the mesh looks. So for this, go to simulate and here we have liquid mesh. Click on it. Just have to be in the scene, then it works. This is the liquid mesh. And you see it starts from here and it goes down. Of course, with the gravity, and it starts from here, so we have here more fluid than here. What I want to do is liquid, so friction is this is okay. In the emitter, yes, we can try to put make the emitter faster. So let's see how this one. This is like a spring. This looks nice. I like this, but it does not fill up faster. But from above, it looks nicer, like a spring. So, okay. This is still not what I want. We have to do something. Let's play around. Liquid. Let's see what we can do in the liquid. I don't want any dumping here, or 1%. Let's see. Friction, that doesn't matter. In the collider, I don't want any friction here. This is okay. Voxel size 1% is okay. Thickness should be fine. These droplets, this is something I don't like. Okay, it feels almost up, but not really nice. So what I did in my animation, maybe we can go down with the speed. No, we can do that later. First, I want to go to the mesh here and go here down to, let's say, 2. it looks more fluid here. 1.5. It should look more fluid. Yeah, that looks much more fluid. You see, we have here some droplets. We have here a droplet. With this, we can play in the liquid mesh. Here we have a droplet, and go down here with the droplet scale. So something like that. Threshold. But this is to your liking. Okay, something like that maybe. Oh, that looks nice. I don't want this one here, but let's see if we can get rid of this. Let's give us here in the mesh. This one here. Liquify we have here. This is, but as I said, this is all just a setting. Here is everything fine. Maybe in the liquify I go to the density. No, not in the liquify. Oh, in the liquify. Here in the constraints, the density. Okay, let's go up a little bit. Yeah, that looks like liquid. That looks like liquid. I like this a lot. But it feels too slow. And my trick was, let's save this. I don't use the gravity from the scene. So with uh, Control D, we go in the scene settings. In the simulation scene, we disable our gravity here. And this, of course, that looks then like this. This could look nice with some with some surface tension. Let's go to here, surface tension. Let's go up with the surface tension a little. But I don't want any surface tension here at the moment. So let's go back and bring in the simulate forces. Here we have a gravity as well. And with this gravity, you see this arrow here? I can say in which direction the gravity runs. So when I now take the gravity here and drag it a little to the side here, the fluid thinks it goes downhill, and that should fill this whole thing much quicker. Oh, what's going on here? I think it's too fast. This goes over our. Yeah, it goes over it. Make the emitter speed a little less. The speed is 1,000. I want 200. Is more than enough. 1,000 is far too much. So that looks great. And when we look from above, yeah, but you see, we have one problem. Now everything will fill up on this side because it thinks it goes downhill here. You see, everything fills up to here. And what we do now is we simply animate the gravity here. So go back to the first frame. Coordinates, here we are on, let's say we start on -20. Then I go make a keyframe. Then I go to frame, let's say 200. Let's try 200 or 250 or 200. And go here to 0 keyframe. So And that should look quite nice. You see, our gravity rotates here, and I want that everything fills up. And we have a wonderful mesh here. Everything is filled up. Looks great. We can stop the emitter. Let's say we stop the emitter at basic emitter. Emission start frame 0 and 8000. I want to stop the emitter. Can I use your nose stop emitter? Start frame 0. No, we need it. Rate, seed. I can go with speed to 0 maybe, but is there no stop emission? Constant, rate 1000 per second. Continuous. Continuous is okay. We need a range maybe. Duration 250 frames. Let's see if this works. Okay, I like the fluid here. Okay. At 250 the emitter should stop, so we should not see the spring anymore. Yeah. That looks nice. And we have almost the same thickness here. That looks crazy. But maybe a little too small. Let's go to the measure and go here to a little up with 1.7 or so. Okay. I save this. It should look nice here from the side as well. Oh, come on, why? What's going on? Is it? No, no crash. Come on. Don't crash it now. I don't want you to crash. It crashed. That's no. That's crazy. Maybe. Let's see. Nope. Nope. Anyways, I think I have to restart cinema. Anyways, everything should be saved, so no problem at all. So I'm back, and now let's now try it. A little waiting because until everything is in the GPU, and yeah. From this angle it looks even greater than from above. Okay. That's great. Maybe here it's not totally filled up, but this is okay for me. When we give it 100 frames more, everything is filled up, or 50 frames more. But because when 50 frames more, everything will come to stop. So okay, I like this like it is. So save it. And the next thing, I render this in Octane, of course, you know it. And yeah, I don't use Redshift. I don't like Redshift. I don't, cannot explain why, but I don't like it. And I don't want to learn another new render and something else. This is, you can render this in physical render or in Octane. I don't want to show as well the physical render here. That's the standard render, physical render, because I showed so many tutorials where how to render everything, and so I think it's not necessary, or it's boring when I show it in every tutorial. I show the same, that this is. So I make just to see how the fluid looks. I make it with Octane because it works fast. So let's make. First of all, I want to see this from above here. So then I make a camera, and here I have my Octane camera. Go into the camera and the coordinates. Here the 0, minus 90. Then go up here a little bit. Go zippity. So that's nice. And give it a protection deck. Save. And then I want a floor. So for the floor, I make a simple plane here. Make the plane so and so. But I want to go with Control B. You come to the render settings. I have Octane here. That's okay. And here I go. So I have 16 to 9. That's fine. Okay. So, but when we render this, we won't see anything. So the thicken, I hide the thicken totally. So this is the first point here. From this traffic light is for to be visible in the viewport, and the second one is for visible for the render. And in this case, we shouldn't see this, and in this case, we see nothing. You see that you see nothing? And the reason is, this isn't any geometry here. But first I go to here and bring the plane a little down here. So, okay, something like that. And then we have to go to the liquid mesh here, and here we have an export. And the geometry has to be on. And as soon as it's an on, you see, we have here, see something. Yeah, this is not really filled up here. This is, maybe we should give it more density. Let's first make this texture, this save. And what do we do here? First, I want my Octane rig here, of course. So that looks much nicer. I don't need a shadow catcher because we have the plane here. So we don't need a shadow catcher. I want a different HDRI here. So go to indoor. And let's take this one here. Whoop. Okay. Let's play with, no, but it looks quite nice. Okay. Let's make a material for the, here in my toolbar I have my universal material. And when I go to here, whoops. This is a simple white to make it a little rough. So, and in the albedo, I make it a little gray here, so, and put it on my plane. The next material, I name this floor. Whoops, and the next material will be the liquid. Here I make a transmission, so plump the liquid on the liquid mesh. And here we need transmission. We go to specular, float all the way up, and the albedo here has to be black then. Now come on, so that's fine. And in the command I activate the fake shadows. Okay, then medium, a little scattering medium, an absorption color, RGB spectrum, make this red. Okay, that looks not bad. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, I'm happy with this. And maybe a little roughness. A little roughness. You see, we are. Yeah, so we don't see that we are so empty here on this side. Yeah, that looks nice. Save. But I am here not in the. I see something here, and I have to go to my Octane render settings, and I'm here in the direct lighting. I want my physical render. So I go path tracing. So path tracing 400 is fine. This is everything should be fine. And render it again. Okay. 400 is enough for now. But let's see. I want to play a little Octane rig, and let's go to the. Yeah, we have the red here. This is nice. And here is nice. Okay. And when we hit play, let's save this. Maybe it crashes again. Play. Ah, that looks great. That looks great. So it's not totally clean, but it's clean enough for 400 uh, samples. We can, of course, go to the Octane camera here in the Octane camera tag, imager, enable, and we can enable. It's not there. Is this the denoiser? So, and of course, this will denoise our result here when we. But sometimes it's too much. Here in this case, we don't see a lot of it. So Control B. I want the denoiser in the render as well, so I have to go to my Octane is okay, Octane render, and use denoised beauty bus. Save. And that's it. We are done, I would say. Let's render this until the end, but without the thing. But you see, it works really fast here, even with the mesh, and the mesh is quite dense. Okay, on this PC I have what? Which one is this? That's my. Wait, we see it in a second, or have I? Do I have the thing open? So this is. Uh, NVI top. Okay. Come on, what card do I have here in this is the 24 gigabyte, this is the 4090. Okay, that's good. So, but we should see it here in the render now as well. When I click here, yeah, the 4090 is in here. The other one I have a 5090, but this guy works. Okay, so yeah, I would say we can be satisfied with this. And we have our first tutorial after a longer break, and I think it was quite nice. I hope, as I said, I hope you like it. And if you have ideas how to continue the channel, or please, give me your ideas what we could make, which tutorials. As I mentioned in my last tutorial with my avatar here, I really run out of ideas, and yeah, I had no idea anymore. And it should not happen again. The next tutorial then will be a tutorial about automation with this logo here, with N8N. This is the logo from N8N. And with AI, automation, everything. And the first tutorial will be in German. But if you don't speak German, don't worry. Everything will come in English as well. So it should be no problem at all. And I will try to make maybe English subtitles. But with the subtitles on YouTube, this is I made for the explanation tutorial in my last video. I made subtitles, but in the YouTube studio with the subtitles, that's not fun. But anyways, everything will come in English as well, and yeah, that's it. This project file here will be soon on Patreon for download, of course. But I don't know if I can do it today. I have to go then to a garden party. It's about 6 p.m. of course, and I don't know when I'm back. So uh, maybe the tutorial file will be online tomorrow or the day after. It doesn't. Yeah, it depends when I come back. And that's it. I wish you all the best here from Austria, Vienna. Und tschüss und baba.